everyone. Just going to give it a few more minutes, make sure that we're giving space right at 9. But I hope that if you're deciding to do this, that you're making some space for yourself. You can be standing, you can be seated, you can be lying down. I hope that you get a few seconds to do this, but I will also completely not judge. I think anywhere we can take some deep breaths is okay. So even if you're like taking some deep breaths while you're getting your hair done in the morning, that's like totally fine too. But I hope that you'll like try to take a few deep breaths with us and hang out and pause and just slow down a little bit. So start to settle in, start to settle out your space. When I actually start to, I'll like kind of move away. So know that I like won't be able to read. Speaking of me being old, I won't be able to read all the comments as I scoot back a little to really practice and breathe with y'all, you know, because I want to be clear. I want to be present with everybody. Hi there, Catalyst Counseling. Yes. Healers making sure that they are doing the damn work. That's so important. I love that, y'all. That's such a big, important thing. Yeah. I'm excited too, Megan. I haven't done this in so long. There are some things my little introvert brain doesn't miss about the pandemic, but being in healing space and breathing with everyone and checking in is something I definitely miss. I forget. It takes a little bit for me to want to do it, to get out and to do it. And I want to really be grateful to all of you that are here, because it is hard for me to, you know, part of my own vulnerability, part of my own visibility is that it is hard to come to these spaces. You know, I know that it's important, but to make space, to slow down, to speak to and engage in the things that are important, it's so challenging sometimes when we are low on bandwidth. And I think it's an okay assumption to say that like we're probably all a little extra low on bandwidth this year, you know? I don't think that that's an uncommon experience. So I'm really grateful for y'all making space. All right, everyone, get settled in, get comfy, do what you need to do, take good care of yourselves. For those of y'all just logging in, I want to welcome you all to Wound Care, a little bit of first aid for the spirit. I am so grateful to be in space with y'all this morning. It is such a gift to connect at any moment in time, but particularly this moment in time. I can't tell you how much, as a person who works with trauma, as a person who has a body that is sinking into these spaces and sinking into all that is going on, this being Mental Health Awareness Month, AAPI Month, as a queer person. You know, I wrote this post the other day, speaking to, as a side note, Chanel Sasbury, I think it's at Chanel, is doing a wonderful contest and fundraiser. You can look back on my Instagram, but I spoke to being a queer body of color and like what that means in this moment in time. And so I so believe that this is all so important and that it can be really hard to make space. So I'm just so grateful to be here and to be with y'all here today and to get to start this practice together. I also want to invite you, as we get started, to just know that that is not only okay for you to pop in and out, that is not only okay for you to engage in as much or as little of this practice as feels good to you, but that I encourage it, I support it. I am in reverence of you taking space for yourself, that is a hard thing to do today. We don't get told that nearly often enough. So in this journey, as you join us, know that it is big work. Take care of your bodies and hearts while you do it. All right. Welcome, last few folks. Go ahead and settle into wherever your spaces are. I'm going to scoot back a little, so I might not see you all pop in, just so you know. I think my Gather and Grow C fam, if you see them pop in, they're kind of helping me do some satellite commenting and checking in so I can be present with you all. In fact, I'm gonna take off these things that are always attached to us. I encourage you to do that too, as a side note, if you can. Remove the things, turn the things off, turn the beepers and the buzzers off, everybody. Settle and sink down, whether you're standing, seated. I'm going to give some offerings around potentially closing your eyes, taking deep breaths, but know that you can always do this at your own speed, that you do what is safe for you. And that is the only thing that I feel sad about in this digital space, that I cannot be there to check in with you, to put eyes on you, and to be an energetic space with you. But I believe that we can co-regulate together, even in this digital space. I think that it is a powerful thing when we breathe together. So I'm excited to do that. All right, everybody. Wherever you feel comfortable, whether you're standing or seated, whether you are lying down, getting ready for work. My only request is that if you're driving to work, no closing your eyes, okay? Stay present. But for everyone else, settle in as you are. If you are seated, if you have a chance, or even if you're laying down, know that palms up, maybe a little bit more openness. If you're feeling like you need a little bit more grounding this morning, palms down. And then just start to settle in and breathe with me. Before you ask your body or your breath to do anything, just take stock of where it's at. This is what these first few practices are going to be about. Just checking in with ourselves. That's the first step. Honor whether you have rushed here this morning, whether you feel like you don't have enough space to be in this practice. Honor if you have made a ton of space, if you have been waiting for this, if you have carved this out and set up your sacred space. Wherever you are at in your breath and your body and your heart at this moment, honor it, because that is so important to our experience. We all come here, we land here from all these places, and it is those experiences that we need to honor today. As you round and circle these next few breaths, I invite you to expand just a little bit deeper. Open up the heart space just a little bit more. Exhale just a little bit more fully, belly button coming back towards spine. Some intentional breaths, maybe the most intentional breaths that you've taken this morning, maybe the most intentional breaths that you have taken this week, this year. Full inhale up to the top, full exhale down to the bottom. I invite you, if it feels good and comfortable in your body, to honor and own any movement that comes up. To let soft movement ripple through, to sink and settle in. Let's all join together at the bottom of the next exhale. No, you can always honor your own count. We're going to inhale up to the top, grow a little taller, grow a little longer, grow a little more expansive. Exhale, let the shoulders fall down away from ears, grounding you into body. Letting body grounding you into earth, and earth grounding you into community around you. Start to lengthen and own this new breath, this intentional breath. And as your breath gets more expansive, as you start to feel it ripple through more and more of your body, just start to notice where it's getting stuck. If it's getting stuck, where there might be hard points or tender points. We are often taught in these moments to ignore the tender points, to ignore the hard points. I encourage you to lean in, to look in, to be curious. If you find a tender point, a hard point, a dark point, face it. Welcome it in, peel back the Band-Aid and ask what it needs. Take stock of it. What does it look like? Does it have a color, a shape? Does it have a sound or a temperature? Does it feel like it's static or like it's moving? Get to know it. Circle around it. Let it come in, welcome it in, open up to it. Give that wound just a little bit of healing air and breath and energy and intention. Inhaling, honoring that place of tenderness. Exhaling out to it, softness, care, non-judgment. Let's all take 3 of our deepest, biggest, most intentional breaths to this hard spot. And then as you round the exhale of that 3rd breath, exhale all the way out, belly button back towards spine, full pushing out so we can let in more air. Inhale deeply. Full sigh, open mouth, exhale. Good, one more just because it feels so good. Watch that spot soften and dissipate. And now gently, if it feels good to you, turn your attention to anything that must feel soft, light, good in your body. Is there a certain place in your body that just feels open today? Sink in there. Take a meter of that. What is the color? What is the temperature? What is the shape of this good light spot? Open up to it without judgment. Let that space, as you inhale and exhale, filter through your body. And again, I invite you, if you are so called, in your personal and safe spaces, to move and shift, to let in what feels good to you in this moment. Breathe deeply into that space. And as you sink into that space of good, of light, I encourage you that wherever that spot is, to watch that image, that color, that temperature expand with each bellowed breath through the rest of your body. It doesn't have to push out any tender spots. Just let it cover it. Just let it sink into it, like a blanket, like a soft touch. And let's take 3 of our biggest, most intentional breaths into this spot. Inhaling fully up to the top, exhaling fully out to the bottom. And as you round the exhale of that 3rd breath, once again, a little bit of intention, belly button towards spine, anything left over that needs to go, exhale it out so we can inhale deeply. Full open mouth, exhale. And one more for good measure. And now I welcome you as an invitation to bring your hand to your heart, to drop your chin to your chest. Return to your normal breath. Wiggle and move if you feel like you have to come back into whatever space that you're into. And let's all take an inhale together to honor the courage that it takes to meet ourselves in this practice of wound care. Let's take an inhale and exhale to honor this digital space that we're sharing and abundant community around us. And lastly, I'd especially like to thank you all for letting me grow and learn and breathe and heal in this amazing, wonderful community space that you all have gathered here to share. When you're ready, if your eyes are closed, gently bringing that chin back up, blinking the eyes open, softness of gaze. If you feel a little disoriented, which can happen, to take some deep breaths, to maybe look around your space, look around the room. We oftentimes want to pathologize that we are fearful, that something pops up for us. And I want us to honor and start to take away the shame from that here. That is your nervous system taking care of you. We can ask it to shift. We can look around our space and tell us that we are safe, that we are reorienting. I like to roll the shoulders, to shake out the neck. I just want to thank you all for joining us in this first session of wound care, a little first aid for the spirit. I hope that you all take these practices out into the rest of your week and the rest of your month. I would challenge and encourage you to see how your month shifts and changes. If you started with just a little, I think we were maybe at like a 5 to 7 minute practice with our chatting and our checking in. It's not a lot of time to take just those few minutes for ourselves. I truly believe will shift the course of your month and your day. So thank you all so much for joining. I hope to see you next Friday with softened hearts and deep breaths. And I will see you all soon. Take the best care of your hearts and spirits. Have a wonderful morning.